you.
Good afternoon and welcome back, or maybe welcome to the Essex Sport Arena. Slightly delayed start, but Malory Eagles UEL Part 2. We've just seen a 5-set thriller on the men's. Will the women copy suit? Two teams, like the men, already qualified for the Final Four in Crystal Palace, but both teams will want to take the first big step in March at crunch time to take a big 3 points. Mike Huntsemice, delighted to be joined by Ben Osborne.
Hello, good afternoon, thank you for having me.
Ben, before we touch upon it, we've got to talk about it. What a game of volleyball that was, though.
Yeah, have we got to talk about it? I don't know. Yeah, it was a good game. I mean, went right down to the wire, and, you know, Malory played some really good game, played a lot of good defence, so credit to them, you know.
And obviously, it is across both teams. It's an unofficial rivalry at this point between the two teams. You can see both sets of teams well into it, and how much fun are these games to play in, mate?
Yeah, they are a lot of fun. They are a lot, and especially, you know, for the men anyway, when you're playing first seed against second seed in the league. I mean, it just goes to show, you know, two titans at the top of the table playing. That's always going to be a fun game to be involved in.
Indeed, and obviously these two women's sides next up. Second time they're meeting this season. Malory took the opening game down in Cobham 3-1, but only after Essex Rebels came out, punches thrown, 25-10 first set. And then Malory coming out 25-21, 25-22, 25-21. And Ben, also, I know you were at the game. What was your kind of takeaway from that in the first meeting?
Well, I think, like you say, you know, the first set, beating the team that convincingly, you think, well, you know, they got their stride going. Nothing's going to go wrong. And then, I mean, Malory maybe took that as a message and thought, okay, we need to get our gears going. I mean, I think what the keys today will be for Essex anyway. A lot of good passing in system, just opening up the play to spread across the court, especially in the middle channel. You know, you've got two really strong middles on the Essex Rebels side. And you've got a lot of good pin hitters as well. So I think having that accessibility to all options is going to be their key to winning today.
And we'll start with a bit of team news for the Rebels. You see her there on shot, Julia Haney in street clothes for the Rebels. Unfortunately, Julia picked up a little bit of a knock, but speaking to head coach Alex Chinnery before the game, he said it was more precautionary than anything. I think maybe she plays if they hadn't got top four wrapped up, but big focus on Bucks on Wednesday as well. Ben, obviously it's for you guys as well, so a little bit just safety measure for the Rebels.
I think so. I think that's a smart decision. You know, if you've already qualified for the Final Four, there's no need to make those desperate measures and have injured people playing. So,
indeed, and for the Rebels as a whole, relatively good season. 11-3, 32 points, third place. Third is not secured. They'll have some pressure from Lionhearts. 2 tough games back-to-back at home today and then side out next week. So how important is it for the Rebels women? Haven't beaten Malory or side out yet, to try and beat one of the next 2 weeks to have confidence going into the Final Four.
Well, that's it. I mean, regardless of the result today for the girls, it's really important that they keep that confidence going into next week, because you might lose 3-0 today, but then you can't take that into the next game, because then you might just lose 3-0 again, and that's those 2 games done. So I think what's important for the girls today is, regardless of the score, just keeping that confidence up and going into each game anew and just keeping doing their all.
2 big wins for the Rebels last week on the road at Durham. Very convincing 25-15, 13 and 20 victory, and then backed it up the next day at Leeds, having knocked the Rebels out the cup the week before on the doubleheader. Rebels winning a very, very tight game, 23-23, and the Rebels pulling out 28-26 in the third. So huge weekend for the Rebels, and that secured them in the top 4.
Well, hopefully, they come off those 2 wins against, again, 2 good sides on the female squad, and they use that to propel themselves into this game. So I'm feeling hopeful. Maybe we'll see.
As for the Malory Eagles women, second place, just 1 loss on the season, 14-1 record. In second place, though, due to team side out, Malory 42-12 in sets on the year. Last weekend, convincing 3-0 victory at Cambridge, 3-0. There you see the league table. Malory, if they win 3-0 or 3-1, go 2 points behind side out with 2 games to go, and put a lot of pressure on side out to try and clinch the league.
I mean, Malory always a good team, year in, year out. They're always a good team, and they've always got good squad depth. So, I'm not surprised to see them sitting at second in the table.
And Ben, you're obviously playing, so we're going to bring you some drama with the league table pulled up. Okay. First of all, Essex beat Cambridge 3-2.
Wow, okay, really?
So first win of season 2, Essex, so congratulations to them.
Yeah.
But the big one, Dark Star Derbyshire 3, Durham Palatinate 0.
Really?
So we now have Cambridge on 16 points, Dark Star on 17 and Durham on 19 in the race to avoid the last relegation spot as we go down the stretch.
That makes things exciting.
Indeed it does. We'll get your reaction to the men's scores in a minute, but a little bit more on Malory, of course. That only lost that 3-0 loss to side out, but they have gone to 4-5 setters this year, going 4-0, all away from home against side out Leeds, Lionhearts and Durham. So Malory's a little bit of road trouble. How important is it for set 1 for them to come out firing?
Well, that's it. It always comes down to that confidence, doesn't it? I always feel like as a player, the first set tells you a lot. It always tells you either you're going to roll over if you've lost that first set and continue to lose 3-0, or you're going to come back firing and think, actually, no, we want this game. So I think the first set, whoever takes that, you're going to see either a big momentum shift from the other team, or you're going to see a steamroll from that team.
That said, 1 loss on the season was at home, so undefeated away. The Rebels undefeated at home. So someone's loss column has to take a hit today between these 2 giants as they're going through final stages of warm-up. And obviously, been a tough month for the Rebels, a lot of games as well, but what's the mood you picked up in camp this week, Ben, with the women coming off those 2 big victories?
Yeah, I think they had a lot of confidence coming off those victories, and especially the Durham game, because I think for some of the girls that have been here for a while now, like myself, been here 5 years, that would have been the first time they would have beaten Durham away, first of all, and then let alone 3-0. So I think, being able to show themselves that this year, actually, we're capable of beating these teams with these scores. Who's to say that we can't do that to teams above us in the league? So,
indeed, obviously, we know this rivalry goes deep, but Alex Chinnery yet to win as Rebels head coach against Malory. Caught up with him in the week, and he said, it's a factor, but today's about momentum. It's not necessarily about that. They know this is a decent chance of being the semi-final first game. So, again, a little bit toying out. Obviously, no Haney's going to make it difficult for the Rebels. As we now have a look at our players of the game. And we'll start with the Essex Rebels and the middle, Kat Tolley. Obviously, super experienced, been in the system a long time, coming towards the end of her Rebels journey, potentially. I know there's maybe not quite done, but just talk about Kat's experience and leadership for this group.
Yeah, so obviously a lot of Super League experience, all of last year being a starter in the Super League, the year before as well, a lot of time spent on the court. So obviously she's got that experience of playing time, but also, you know, that experience of being against Malory in Final Four last year. You know, we remember when they played them and went 2 sets up and then reverse sweep. So I think especially playing against Malory, there's that experience there and that sort of hunger to deliver some justice on last year, I think.
And obviously, part of the middle rotation, big opportunity for Kat and Saskia Furtscheid to step up with Haney, but it's a position where Alex Chinnery does have some depth.
Yeah, especially, yeah, I know, in the middle they've got a lot of depth.
We'll flip over to Malory and we'll talk about the new addition. What an addition this is. The setter, Georgia McGovern, came in after Christmas, obviously the England starting setter as well. D3 career, made a Final Four, made tournament team in the end. What a big addition that was for Malory to be able to add someone of that calibre into the lineup at Christmas.
Yeah, well, definitely, and especially a setter, you know. A setter's arguably the most vital player on court, so to have someone that has all that wealth of knowledge and experience playing overseas, now controlling your team and running the offence, I think that's really going to put them in good stead for today.
And Georgia McGovern leads Malory with serve rating 2.2 on the season, 97% success, 9 aces already for the Eagles. And the versatility of this Malory team is what's interesting, right, Ben? 3 setting options with Selena Batiste, Claire Kellum and Georgia. One of them generally starts at opposite now. We saw last week, if anything, Georgia started at opposite Kellum's set, but how difficult is that to game plan against when you're not quite sure who's setting and who's going where?
Well, that's it, right? I mean, you can't really, and that's the beauty of it, because you turn up on the day, you think, well, they've got these options, and who's to say what option they're going to go with, you know, when each is as good as the last. So we'll see what they go with, and I'm sure whatever they do go with, it's going to work just well for them.
Just for the viewers at home, as we welcome our referees onto court, it'll be Richard Dabrowski on the chair with William Pellegrini. The difference between a 6-2 and a 5-1, because that's the choice Malory now have with multiple setting options, and what dynamic that can give to an offence.
Yeah, well, obviously 5-1 you have more attacking options, especially when the setter's back row penetrating. That gives you 3 across the front, and then the 6-2 gives you just that 1 less, but you still have quite a few options.
As the Malory Eagles coming out, they will be led out by captain Chloe Allen. We'll talk about her, no doubt, in the broadcast. Number 1, Steph Boyce. Number 6, Jaden Scott. Number 10, Sophie Shishko will get the start, having had a big game last week. Number 11, Claire Kellum. Number 17, Georgia McGovern, of course, the libero. Number 3, Ari Sierra, former Rebel.
Yeah, there you go. There's a rivalry there to be had.
We'll talk about Chloe Allen. The last time these two sides met, Chloe Allen, 40 swings, 13 kills, 8 errors for Allen. We know she's going to see a lot of the ball. For Malory, 171 kills on 468 swings, so big part for the Rebels to focus in on blocking defence.
Yeah, and I'm sure they would have had that conversation in the build-up to this game. Alex Chinnery obviously speaking about what defence system they're going to play, whether it's blocking cross, covering more line with the setter backcourt. I'm not sure, to be honest, what they've gone with, but I'm sure that's something they would have spoke about in their film sessions.
And nor do I, because I spoke to Jefferson earlier, and he wouldn't even tell me who his starters were. He said he was still deciding. I don't know if I believe that or not, but with Jeff, we know anything's possible as the Rebels coming out on to court. And obviously, towards the end of the season, how important is it for the Rebels to have home court? I know you don't have it, Ben, but how important is it for them to have home court on Wednesday as well in Bucks?
I think having that home court advantage, you know, you get things like this, you know, obviously the big spectacle of running out. Maybe for some players that brings confidence, maybe for some players on the opposite team that brings a bit of, I don't know, maybe give you a sense that you're playing on a sort of stage. So it helps in that sense, but also just the sense of, you know, you're playing in a familiar setting, and that always helps.
Great to see the mascots out. Kat, Tolly, interesting going for the piggyback ride. There's an interesting pre-game lift for you, and great to have a lot of you in the chat. Let's know your thoughts as we go. Obviously a big day in the Super League at both ends of the table. As the liberos for Essex. Coming out, Veronica back in the lineup. We'll expect her to come off the bench for the Rebels, but had a long bit of an injury, so great to see her back in the lineup as we about get ready for this opener. Ben, key for the Rebels today is what?
Well, like I was saying earlier, I think it's going to be their serve-receive unit. You know, if they can give Simmons the opportunity to have full run of the mill, you know, all attacking options open, then that's going to be able to give her the opportunity to spread the play. Going to make it difficult for the Malory blockers.
Indeed, and now we do get to see the Rebels starting 7. They will go with number 9, Chelsea Simmons, the setter. Number 27, Taya Shamlin, who's grown offensively, was our player of the game last time we were here on Super League Live against Durham. Number 11, Saskia Freda Schofield. Number 47, Alexis Diaz-Infante. Number 10, Leia Borovec. Number 11, Kat Tolley. And number 19, Madoka Weldon. Players who want to watch. The one thing I forgot to mention, a little bit of Taunton love, a little bit of Taunton rivalry. Kat Tolley and Georgia McGovern in the same junior club, know each other well, and they'll have a chance to battle off as Georgia McGovern will open up the serve for Malory Eagles here at the Essex Sport Arena. Super League Live, final game of the season, and we are underway with an ace as Borovec passes into the back of her unexpected teammate Taya Chamberlain.
Yeah, I don't think she meant that. I don't think Taya really appreciated that.
As another big ace for McGovern on the season, moves her to 10, and Malory have a chance for an early lead. Sierra sets up for, she plays it into the block of Simmons and Tolley. Quick start for the Eagles, as we saw in the men's game. Malory trying to jump out early into sets.
Yeah, I mean, just giving them that advantage and that room to breathe. Lets them just spread their wings a little bit more, play a bit more freely.
Borovec with a perfect pass. Simmons sets Diaz-Infante in the back. Can't put a big swing on it. It's Kellum saying at the moment into the block. Weldon's going to get there, but it'll be Shamblin to go cross court to Sierra. McGovern, she's go blocks by Simmons. Long rally to start. Kellum gets the tip off Weldon. And Claire Kellum forces the early timeout for Alex Chinnery, down 3-0.
Well, I don't think that's the start he was looking for. I mean, there's stuff to talk about there for the Rebels. Obviously, like we alluded to before the game, serve-receive hasn't been perfect thus far already. Maybe a bit of the blocking. Blocking's been okay, but maybe the middle, Tolley could make a bit of a better move there.
And that was something that popped up in the last game between these two sides. Essex, normally one of the best pass units in the Malory Women's Super League. Shamblin passed a 1.84, Borica 1.6, Weldon a 1.57. So Malory now added arguably their best servants to the rotation, so that is going to be crucial for the Rebels. See if they can tidy it up, trailing 3-0 early on, as they look to stay undefeated at home. As McGovern goes along, well left by Borovec. And it'll be Chelsea Simmons to set up, back to serve. 6 in the Super League in serve rating, a tad under 2. Now what a big piece of this Essex fearsome attackers. Sierra, pinch perfect pass, Callum into the block. As Boyce can tip over, Simmons has to play defense, so Rebels out of system. Diaz-Infante picks out McGovern. Boyce with the lefty tip. As Diaz-Infante again picks up McGovern. Sierra, Borovec with another ding, another long rally, as touch on the block is not given, and Malory take the 4-1 lead.
I mean, that's a good rally there. I think you can see already Malory sort of forcing down Infante.
Chelsea hasn't realised. She's gone back to serve.
That's an easy mistake to make. Long rally, you know, you forget.
And as captain, she gets to clarify, but referee right on it, and not a lot of protest from Alex Chinnery. That's normally a giveaway.
Yeah, I think you can know there.
Sophie, she's go back to serve. Simmons tries to go Diaz-Infante, but again picks up Sierra. Malory not quite on the same page offensively. Have to tip it over. Diaz-Infante seeing a lot of ball early, but into the block of Kellum.
I think they're doing a good job blocking Infante at the moment. You know, when she was hitting through two there, you could see they were sort of taking line, funneling her cross right into the lap of McGovern. So they're doing a good job on their blocking system thus far, is the Malory Eagles.
Last week had 19 kills in 47 attempts, Diaz-Infante on that road double header, and there's kill number 1.
There you go, that's what we want to see more of from the Rebels.
As it'll be Taya Shamblin, who started the year as a defensive specialist. Still's got that, but her offensive game definitely grown. Misses the serve there, but just talk about what you've seen in Taya's development on the offensive end. Yeah,
well, I think she was recruited originally as a libero, and then I think it was maybe following one Bucks game where she impressed Chinnery enough to say, okay, let's see what she can do on the wing. And you know, I think she's a bit of a beach player. You can see the tendencies in her game. So she has that versatility, you know, using the ball when it's not quite there to be hit. Or
as block touch as Tolly tried to get up, tipped it over the back line, and Malory running away with an early one here. 7 points to 2 they lead. Is it too early to say we might have a reverse of what happened with Common?
I think so.
Simmons, cross court, and a great swing by Leah Borovec on the angle, painted that back corner. Borovec, team leader in kills for the Rebels, 140 coming in to the game as Kat Tolley finds Sierra. Block touch by the Rebels. Freddie Schofiel's going to get a swing, but get denied by Jaden Scott. And the Malory block is up and working early on.
Yeah, I mean, put in a difficult position there was Saskia, you know, trying to see the ball come over the top of her shoulder and make something of it.
It's great to see what I assume is Georgia McGovern's parents in the chat. Let us know your thoughts at home as Malory going to scramble. Chloe Allen, one-handed save, forces Shamblin back. Diaz-Infante sees another ball, and Callum can't make the dig. Big swing for Alexis Diaz-Infante. She's grown into this offense early on.
That's disheartening. All that effort for the Malory Eagles. Get the ball back over just to have it stuffed down your throat again.
It's interesting to see how many balls Ari Sierra is seeing early on.
I don't know whether that was a tactic by Chinnery or just a lack of accuracy on the service line.
As Shishko plays the serve, Sierra I think wanted it, but a big ace for the American opposite. And that looked something along the lines of that was perfect, as Alex Chinnery is giving Thomas Jefferson some kind of frustration I think he's got in his system about the early performance of his side. As Shishko plays it to Kellum, perfect set. McGovern tips it in, and there's the double-edged sword for Malory.
Yep, I think we'll see a lot of that throughout the game as we go.
As Chloe Allen back to serve, the long-standing Malory player. Shamblin sends Diaz-Infante scrambling, and Simmons gives up the free ball. Kellum, cross-court, Shishko beats Diaz-Infante, and the block down the line. And Sophie Shishko having a huge game, 8 kills, sorry, just 6 kills last week, but has got so much versatility. Played libero, played opposite, and now playing outside it across the games as Allen finds the net on the serve. How important are sometimes those glue players, Ben, that can play multiple positions for you offensively and fill in? You've got it in Hassan as well, that can play different positions when the team needs.
Well, you know, especially teams like this, you know, where you're playing a lot of games, so players sometimes get injured or they get tired, so they need a rest. So being able to have someone that can play a multitude of different positions helps when you pick up those injuries and those fatigue.
As McGovern just misses the line. That will send Leah Borek back to serve. Borek, a dangerous serve, and Callum tries to set middle, but the timing connection with Jaden Scott, not quite there, and the Rebels just slowly clawing themselves back into set number 1.
Yeah, only a 2-point deficit now. I think that's much more where they'd rather be, you know, than 5 or whatever it was a minute ago.
As overpass, killed off by the setter and Chelsea Simmons. And you can see where the Rebels are trying to go on serve.
I think that's more like it, you know, keeping it away from the libero. Sierra, who does normally a good job on serve receive, normally trying to target the front court passer.
Only the best in the league, statistically. Again, Shishko plays it. Jaden Scott on the slide, well defended by the Rebels. Diaz Infante from the 3-meter line into the net though.
Yeah, that's one of those errors that you've got to cut out. Stuff like that is really going to hurt the Rebels in a game that's so close like this.
Yeah, Avi Sierra and Taya Shamblin battling for the lead in serve reception. Shamblin will get the swing and beat Chloe Allen, sprawling away to her right. And we'll get to see that from Shamblin again. Simmons just pushing it out nice and wide and finding the gap in the Malory defence. It's Freddie Schofield on the serve. Allen drops it in. McGovern goes, tip, big pick up by Freddie Schofield. You don't see the middles getting to pancake saves very often, and she nearly takes out Thomas Shadamin. Please say we have that on replay, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, we'll have to watch that back in the YouTube because she nearly caused some harm to her. And I don't think if that had connected, she would have heard about that. As Malory get the kit block. Rebels recycle. Shamblin goes push. McGovern gets to it. Kellum's going to be able to set. She's go denied by Simmons and Tolley.
That's good block. I mean, just waiting and seeing where the attacker is aiming there. You see the wait and stop. Take away that
Simmons
space.
with it. Josie Simmons, as a setter, 4th in the Super League in blocks per set.
There you go, she proves why there.
Sierra, McGovern and Shamblin on the one-on-one, can't quite control it. And the Malory outside seeing a lot of the ball early on offensively. And she'll go back to serve. As Shamblin gets all crossed up. And again, the Rebels offense not just quite finding rhythm, but it's the pass that's kind of just setting them a little bit scrambling.
Yeah, and I mean, like we say, it takes away those options, so then you're forced to play down one channel, and that makes it easy for the Malory blockers to pick up on.
Weldon does well to get to the ball that just clipped the top of the net. She's goes scrambling, and Steph Boyce down the middle, but huge set by Georgia McGovern
That's
to
a great
open
set.
up the angle for the middle.
Yeah, absolutely great set. You know, you can see the setter's pulled off the net there. Rebels blockers not quite keyed into how the middle's still running there. Able to put it off in the middle. That's a great decision.
Shamblin, perfect pass this time to Simmons. Diaz Infante finds Sierra. McGovern, Allen, who's been quiet, gets Borovec scrambling. Rebels are going to keep it alive, but it'll be a free ball for the Eagles. Allen again finds Borovec. Another huge dig, but another free ball for Malory. Allen for the 3rd time, no mistake.
Yeah, I think she knew she needed to put it down there. You know, 3rd time's asking, you got to put that away.
2 tremendous digs by Borovec though in the back row.
Yeah, and that's the thing with these Rebels, you know, making a great dig like that, but you've got to try and convert it. So that second touch from, I think it was Weldon there, putting up a set, you know, it's got to be better. It's got to put your attackers in a position to score.
Diaz Infante on a mini slide as the fight at the net. It's going to come back on the Malory side there. Fully set up. Kellum has to wait for it. Weldon with the dig. Shamblin's going to push deep into the corner. Allen has to wait. Another dig by Borovec. Neither team able to get a full swing on it. Simmons with the dig, so another huge rally. McGovern goes middle to Boyce. Joust won at the net by Steph Boyce, and Malory Eagles are running away with it.
Yeah, I think, you know, you really got to try and keep it away from Sierra there. soaking all those balls up all day long in the back row. So maybe the Rebels offense needs to come up with something different, keep the ball away from the libero.
Big service run by Malory. Back set Simmons to Diaz Infante, beats McGovern on the cross court.
That was a big swing, really unloaded on there. You can see she opened up her shoulders, putting her all into that ball.
As Alex Chinnery looking like it might go to the bench. We'll see where that goes in a minute. Looks like Emily Priestley may be getting some court time as she's go in the air. McGovern calls for it. Allen off the 3-meter line, but too good for Shamblin. Big swing, Chloe Allen.
Maybe that was a last-second decision there, whether that was going out, whether or not to leave that.
And it'll be Steph Boyce pushing Weldon back again. Free ball given up by the Rebels. Kellum going to get it back off the set, tries to go cross court, but mistimes the jump and pushes it wide, trying to go sharp.
You see from the Rebels there, okay, some defensive hustle going on, or not a great serve receive, but it's that second ball touch that is so important. You know, if you're not putting your players in a position to put up an attack, then it's going to be a free ball all day long.
So 18-13, Malory Eagles. That's Kellum, big swing. Simmons with the dig. Tolley going to have to set with libero, blocked by Jaden Scott. Diaz Infante goes line, picks out Sierra. And Allen again. Just misses. Good angle and discipline by Chelsea Simmons. Big confidence by Alex Chinnery to let Kat Tolley serve. I've seen him sometimes use a serving sub in situations like this, but gonna let Tolley go, and she rewards him with another good serve. Middle attack blocked. Rebels somehow get it over. I think it was Sierra on the pickup. Borovic, Freddie Schofield scrambling to keep it alive. Malory again getting block touches. McGovern goes for the kill and finds it.
I think that's a smart play. You know, there's no libero on court there. You can catch the defense lacking.
Georgia McGovern, 8 kills coming in on the year. Sounds like obviously limited game time as well, having joined Malory in January. As Claire Kellum back to serve, just clears the net. Tatum's going to find the ace as Shambling couldn't quite deal with it. And Malory looking comfortable and bucking what feels like a trend of Essex Rebels winning set 1 in this matchup rivalry between the two women's sides. Simmons. Big dig by Sierra, but unfortunately out of court. Chloe Allen went to go chase it down, but was never going to get there.
Yeah, that's a shame, because that was a great swing and a great, read from the defense there just to get in position in time, but unfortunately out.
And it will be Diaz Infante back on the service line. She's got a late call of out from Sierra, but gets aced.
Yeah, that's a good swing. Oh, good serve, sorry. Trying to put that deep corner, just going over the top of the front court pass there, pushing them deep, trying to take them out of the attack. I think that's what I need to see more of.
Sierra again on serve receive. Allen tries to push it, but pushes it deep. Does Chloe Allen, hitting error. And Jefferson Williams looks to the sky in frustration, a pose we have seen him perfect. As Rebels suddenly 6 points down of half the deficit. We've seen some crazy comebacks in the Malory Women's Super League today in sets. Can they pull it out? Potentially, as McGovern is scrambling. It's going to be a free ball. Kellum and Sierra nearly get in each other's way. And kill by Freda Schofield down the middle. Her first of the day.
well, that's important, you know, capitalising on those free balls, not giving Malory anything to work with.
And Saskia's thrown a show for the other part of the middle partnership with Kat Holiday, with Julia Haney out. And Saskia, normally that defensive-minded middle, definitely has done a lot for the blocking. Leads the Rebels in solo blocks, just 25 kills on the season, but how nice is to see that offensive game grow.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when you've got a player that's so keyed in, like you say, on defense, making lots of blocks, lots of digs in the middle like her, then, you know, to see her be able to score and work her magic on the offense end, that's a nice attribute to see in your middle, and something that you know, Simmons is going to really try and capitalise on now.
As Diaz Infante goes long, so Sojico was thinking about playing it, but it's interesting, you can see the Rebels' plan. Malory's 16 serve receptions, 5 have only gone to other people not named Sophie Sojico, so see if Malory have got a counter as Chloe Allen on the dig. Callum's going to set Sojico, she goes long cross court, Weldon's there, great pass as Borovec leaning back just a little bit, finds the net tape and the Essex side of the court, and a big response out of the timeout by the Eagles.
Yeah, putting a good shift in on the defense end now.
Simmons goes for the dump, big pickup by Kellen. McGovern keeps it alive, but the swing just goes wide, but you can tell the Malory defense is locked in.
Yeah, I mean, when your defense is led by a libero like Sierra, then you're in a really good place.
The only stat we don't have on our stat sheet is digs, but we think Sierra's probably 6 or 7 in set 1.
Yeah, I can imagine so.
As Kellum's going to set Allen from the pipe, finds Borovec, who gets low. Shamblin again trying to find that deep corner. Frady Schofield off the net, wants it back but doesn't get it. Shamblin instead gets denied by McGovern. Huge block by the England setup. Is that enough to call it a solo block?
Well, make your own judgment.
Jaden Scott was trying to get across, and she'll head back to the service line with the Eagles 2 points away. Frida Schofield on the slide, finds the line. Big swing by Saskia.
It's nice again being able to use that middle channel. Trying to work around the Malory blockers there.
Again, no serving sub by the Rebels. Doesn't matter, she's can't control it. That's her 4th error of the set defensively on serve receive. 3rd ace for the Rebels as they try and claw back.
I think that's a rotation they want to stay in. You got front court passer in Eagles. No libero next to her to help her in the serve receive unit.
She makes Enzo. Good
she does. She makes up for
good
it.
pass by Chloe Allen. And Malory Eagles bring up 3 set points. Going over Chelsea Simmons. Kat Tolley couldn't quite get there to help out. And it'll be McGovern who started off the set with that strong service run to try and clinch it. Diaz Infante from the back row. Boyce into the hands. Rebels staying alive. Diaz Infante back set. Sierra on the cover. Allen from the pipe misses.
I do think it was close. Very, very close. Again, I think
Malory
Malory
on the back camera, not the side from there.
Malory are doing a good job of spreading that play. You know, going to the outside quite a few times, reverse middle, and then down backcourt middle channel as well.
Simmons, Sierra with the rare errors. Big ace by Chelsea Simmons. Sierra with the overpass, and all of a sudden the Rebels are within 1, and Jefferson Williams wants to kill that momentum.
Yeah, I mean, when you're this close down in the first set, It's only 1 point in. You got to call a timeout there.
Got one in your back pocket.
You might as well use it.
As the fourth ace of the set for the Rebels, well handed out. And Malory really struggling with the serve receive at the moment. It's the fifth error of the set. As Chelsea Simmons, who said on the top of the broadcast, 6 in the league in serve, rating 24 aces, make that 25 on the season. Second for the Rebels. Can she do it again? Rebels down set point. Allen, Boyce into the block. Tolley and Diaz-Infante can't scramble it, and Malory Eagles felt like they dominated the set and scraped over the line. 25-23.
I don't think that score does them justice, really. I felt like Malory were quite dominant in that set, not only on the service line, but especially through their offense as well, defense, in all facets of their game, really. So I think it's a good showing from the Rebels that they're still able to make it that close.
And for the Rebels, obviously no Julia Haney, but is there some pressure now on Chelsea Simmons to diversify the attack a little bit? Diaz-Infante has seen 16 of 40. Chamberlain has seen 13, and only 2 opportunities for the middle with Freddie Schofield and Tolley. Tolley hasn't seen a ball yet. Do they need to just diversify a little bit more?
I think she's limited in capacity because, she can only do with the ball, what she's given. So if the serve receive unit isn't really giving her the opportunity to spread that play, she's a bit limited. So I think, again, it comes back down to that serve receive. But also, I think there were quite a few opportunities there where she could go to the middle, maybe choosing not to because she's going to who's hot right now, in the likes of Borovets and Infante. So I think Malory have keyed in on that, though, and they've either done their homework or they're just reading Simmons quite well at the moment because, like we said earlier, they're able to shut down zones of those pin attackers and funnel them down to their better defenders like Sierra and McGovern. So I think either trying to put the pin attackers in a better position where they can hit more shots or try and get this middle involved a bit more.
Yeah, interesting for the Rebels. 8 kills, 4 errors on 40 swings, so just hitting a 0.1 in that first set. Malory Eagles still not convincing either. 12 kills, 7 errors on 44 swings, so you're talking nearly 85 swings in the set. Shows how both teams struggling just a little bit offensively to find some clean winners.
I think there's been a lot of good serving as well, to be fair, at both ends. We've seen aces on each side of the court, so I think that, they're doing a good job on the service line, both teams. If they keep that up, then that's going to help them in the long run.
Yeah, 4 aces for the Rebels, 3 for the Eagles. Malory leading points getting set number 1 is Sophie Shishko at 5-4 for Claire Kellum. As for the Rebels, it's 5 for Alexis Diaz-Infante and 3 for Saskia Freda-Schofield. As we get ready for set number 2. You see Carol Gordon opposite us having her customary dance.
Enjoying the music.
But how nice is that from a player point of view when you've got coaches that even in tight situations are always going to find just a little bit of relaxation and a little bit of fun in what you do.
I'm extremely jealous of the Malory coaching, because you've got a wealth of experience in all of the coaches there. You've got sort of good cop, bad cop, sort of with Jefferson and Carroll there, and obviously you've got Ian delivering the important stats as well. So, yeah, I'm very jealous of these Malory players to have such a wealth of experience and expertise.
As it looks like Malory are going to make a double middle change to start set number 2, as Boyce and Jen Scott going to take a break. Grace Lazard into the game, second in efficiency in hitting in the Super League, casually off the bench.
Yeah, I thought that was a strange decision to not see her in the first set, but it paid dividends, he still won.
As Kellum, she's going into the block. No changes for the Rebels as Diaz-Infante beats Allen on the cross court. As the Rebels get on the board in set number 2 with Taya Shamblin back to serve. Don't often see her as the first server, but obviously a role occupied by Haney, so Alex Chinnery able to look at some different options as Lazard goes straight at Weldon, takes it off the shoulder, and Lazard tried to kill it on the first touch, but couldn't, as Sierra's going to set McGovern, who misses the line.
That's a great pick-up from Weldon there. You know, setting up her base early, offering up her body, just getting that deflection up. It's a great touch.
It looks like Callum's the one calling the setting signals from the middle. Indeed, she goes to the net. Has to come off it as Lazard finds the back corner to beat Shamblin.
Again, seeing that setter pulled off the net, still able to fire into the middle zone. And when you've got a player like Lazard that's able to access those heights, then that gives you the extra opportunity when you're off the net there, just to pop it into that space. And like we say, see that good spot, push it deep.
As Essex aren't out of rotation. Just a quick check by William Pellegrini on the far side to make sure everything was good. And it'll be Georgia McGovern to serve, and she misses the back line, but not by a lot.
No, that was very close. I mean, that was a good read from Shamblin there, a good lead. It'll be Kat Tolley back on to serve as Lazard. Quite frankly, we'll call that what it is. That is a mishit kill. It looks a bit like a paintbrush, but maybe she meant it. I mean, it scored the point, so.
Looking at her fingertips, not, but hey, sometimes effectiveness is more important than style.
That's it.
You don't mind how you get aces, right, as long as you get one?
Well, the stats still show it, so.
Allen going to have to chase into it. Weldon sets Borovic on the 3-meter line, and Sierra gives the stare and definitely gets the call.
Maybe without that, Hassan would have kept the call in.
Great honesty by Hassan, realising he made a bit of an error and correcting it instantly. Simmons goes quick and finds Freddie Sherman. There's the middle connection for the Rebels.
Yeah, and that's it. You know, you see the middle just being available in the air there, being up in the air, opening up shoulders. It gives Simmons a space to set into.
And always the possibility of the decoy, as well as Allen goes underhand, and Diaz-Avante tries to score a basket.
It's close.
It was very close. Would have been just off your camera at home with it's a big enough ceiling here though normally, but that one.
That takes some heat for the ball to get up there, hit the ceiling.
No, so Grace Lazard to the service line. Leader in aces for the Eagles, but also error rate. She normally tries to go big, goes a little bit off pace, leaves Shambling scrambling, and Borovic finds the block. And the winner as Callum and Oyeron, who's into the game as the second middle of this set for Malory, couldn't quite press enough. As Allen is going to pull McGovern way off the line, but Allen takes no prisoner. Big swing against Weldon.
Yeah, I think maybe the Rebels blockers being a little bit passive there, thinking, you know, she's off the net, but still able to deliver a powerful swing.
Yeah, Chloe Allen, not the person to do that with 171 kills coming in. As Freddie Schofield wanted to run the slide, had to wait on it. And a huge piece of smart hitting into the block touch for the winner. And the 4th kill on the day for the middle. She'll head back to serve, having had an ace late in the set this time finds an error. And I probably shouldn't bring up service errors too much, Ben.
Yeah, they're easy. They happen. They happen to everyone, that's what I was saying.
As well done, Tolly off the top of the net. Allen from the pipe hits the net. Diaz-Infante does well to reach it. Shamblin trying to push back, and a injury, I think. I'm trying to see who's that is down. I don't have the angle. Who's not standing up?
Simmons, maybe?
I think it is Chelsea Simmons, the setter. You are right. Oh, the hitter's on the floor. And hopefully Chelsea is okay. It looks like potentially her right ankle.
I didn't quite see what happened.
The Essex physio staff straight over. And it will be Molly Lawrence starting to get herself ready. Chelsea Simmons on her feet. And luckily she's walking off, which is a relatively good sign.
Yeah, that's what we like to see, that's good.
So we'll see Molly Lawrence into the game for the Rebels. As Chloe Allen are back on the service line.
Yeah, I mean, this is a difficult position for Lawrence to come into, you know. Being cold off the bench, and you've got to run the offense here, so hopefully she's keyed in. She's been watching what's been working so far, what hasn't.
Shambling, tough angle. It's going to pick out. She's going. Malory again, trying to go through the middle. Lawrence with an early centre dump. Sierra with a big pickup, but the Rebels will get a free ball out of it. Tolly takes the free ball there for the middle. Shamblin finds Sierra. McGovern going to try and be aggressive, and the ball just goes wide.
Yeah, that's a great defence, both sides there, keeping the ball in play.
As the Malory men giving some love to the liberos. Kat Tolly has to play in serve receive. Another nice short serve, and she picks out the back corner.
It's a nice shot there. You know, it doesn't need to be a big swing, just putting that into deep corner space.
Third serve receive of the season, and she'll get a 3 for that pass. That'll bump the season average up a little bit from a 1.5 to a 2. Yeah. There we go. As Lawrence, who was a serving sub a couple of weeks ago for Essex in the cup defeat, has blocked out into the antenna. Malory back in the lead, but we have seen Alex use Molly Lawrence a little bit to give Simmons a break. So she has some relatively good connections with the Essex hitter, so it shouldn't be too much of a drop off as Borovic does well to get to the serve off the net cord. Malory scrambling but give up a free ball, and Allen doesn't even get that far, finds the net.
Yeah, some confusion there, I think. No libero on court to sort of captain who's taking the second ball or not, so confusion leads to the error for the Rebel, or for the Malory Eagles, sorry.
And that's the worst hitting error to get on your stats too, right? You just want to get ball in play. As Allen forced the ball over the baseline, Sierra's going to have a relatively good set from the back row. Rebels defense again scrambling. Borovic, however, into the block of Lazard.
Yeah, I don't think that was just any old block. That was an absolute shutdown. Nowhere to go.
Going up with McGovern. 43 blocks, make that 44 on the season for Grace Lazard. Is the leader for this Malory team. Shamblin, perfect pass. Diaz-Infante tip, cross court, finds McGovern. Big swing, Lazard, but Shamblin able to be alive. Borovic, another tip. This time, good defense by Borovic to get the block touch. Shamblin, though, into the net from the back row.
Yeah, and there's a lot of scrappy play going on here, but I don't know, the Rebels side's not really being in position to score these points much, and even when they are, they're getting picked up by Malory. So Malory making some really good defensive plays here.
Shamblin started to find her form on the serve receive, but it doesn't matter as Lazard with another block. Grace Lazard coming in second in blocks per game with Julia Haney, trailing just Malory Portia of the London Lionhearts. Shamblin again being tested in receive, another block. Lazard will get it back and make no mistake.
Yeah, we're just seeing the Lazard show here now. Block after block, and then just a kill to top it all off.
Jefferson Williams talking to the bench. Wonder if he's going to make some changes. Overpass, killed off again by Malory, and the momentum and the energy for the Rebels has dropped since Chelsea Simmons went down. And from 6-all, it's now a 13-8 Eagles lead.
Yeah, and it's tough when you see one of your fellow teammates go down and have to come off for a minute, but you can't let that disrupt your momentum, and you can't let that disrupt how you're playing. And unfortunately, I think the Rebels might have been a little bit disrupted by that.
See the medical staff on the far side, just to your far end. It's not on camera, but attending Chelsea Simmons, so hopefully nothing too major. I know Alex Cheney will want her back in the lineup if he can, but semi-final at home on Wednesday.
Well, that's it, yeah.
Against Newcastle.
I think that's what they're looking forward to more than the outcome of this game.
Now McGovern to serve. Borovec again, not quite set balance-wise, but Kat Tolley says, Grace Lazard, I can do what you can do. Monster block for Tolley. Going up with Diaz Infante. And Tolley can be a live wire and a spark for this Rebels team.
Can she back it up from the service line? Oh!
Neck cord, Lazard has to play it. Sierra with another good set from the back row. Tolley playing defence. Fortunately into the net, and Borovec couldn't quite make the scramble save. And Malory are going to make a change with Jojo Cruz coming in for Sophie Shushko. Jojo Cruz, second best server on Malory with a 1.89 serve rating, 95% success. She's very much ball in play. Played with Tolley for England in the Five Nations. As Diaz Infante beats Sierra down the line, and Sierra looks and apologises to the coaching staff.
Good positioning there from Sierra. Maybe just slightly caught to her left side a little bit, but a good touch nonetheless.
Yeah, I was hoping Alan could close the line off for her, but couldn't quite get that. As Diaz Infante again, Allen on the serve receive, struggles with it just a little bit. Good dig by Weldon, but Borovec runs into the block of Kellum.
And he's in those positions.
Lazard is stunned by her own teammate.
You really need to recognise when you're in a position to score the point, and when, like there, you just set too close to the net and you have to make something of it. You know, the shot to be made there was just a little recycle off the block, and Rebels can get another shot.
As Lazard goes way long on the serve. And Rebels will be delighted. Chelsea Simmons back into the game for Molly Lawrence.
Yeah, maybe just a tweak of the ankle there, nothing too bad.
Well, it was always a little bit positive when you saw a walk off under her 2 feet. As Allen plays a ball that was probably landing right on the sideline from the angle. Borovec with the dig. Simmons, one-handed scoop save. McGovern caught unaware. Sierra with another lovely set. As Borovec, Diaz Infante. Sierra tries to push back row. Weldon alive to it. And the ball ends up out of bounds.
Yeah, I mean, from this angle, what we've got here up on the balcony, I think what we can see here is just the sets for the Rebels just being pushed a little bit too tight to the net. It's not really giving the pin attackers much room to work with.
It just feels just slightly disjointed for the Rebels as Allen. Rebels wanted the overplay but wasn't overly protesty, and it looks like Alex Chinnery getting more subs ready to go. But a little bit too late getting the warm-up top off. And Allen will get another serve. Weldon with a perfect pass. Fraser Schofel into the shoulder of Kellum. I believe it was Weldon with another good dig. Diaz Infante back row again. Definitely Rebels trying to establish her as McGovern. Shambling again, tight, big arm by Kellum. And Allen with a huge swing.
I think Rebels, especially on those out-of-system balls, not really setting up their defence to cover that cross-court. You know, you can see Weldon's all on her own, trying to cover half the court, essentially.
As number 7 is into the game, except we don't have a number 7 on our list. So, Ben, I'm hoping you can tell me who that is.
Yeah, that's the first year, Lila Whitaker. So, coming in for post-grad, Shambling. See a bit of first-year action, get some experience under the belt.
As Borovic has to go low in serve receive. Lila Whitaker puts it over. And Malory again with the killer there, running riot. 20-11, the Eagles lead. And this is quite possibly Lila Whitaker's first Super League action of the season. And a quick scramble through the stat sheet as huge swing by Fraser Schofel, but went under the net.
That's a great pass, though. Great pass from Whitaker there.
And the ace by the Eagles, and this set for the Rebels drifted away completely. It's just about now just trying to find a couple of bits of momentum as Leah Borovic will also take a break. And into the game, Emily Priestley.
Yeah, another outside, taking a seat. Maybe just resting for the next set, try and get your head better.
100% at this stage. As Kellum goes straight at Priestley, off her chest. Diaz Infante from deep in the court. McGovern sets Cruz, goes rollover. Ron-handed stab by Simmons, and McGovern puts it wide.
Yeah, I mean, you're in a position where you can afford to do that, but still no one likes to see that. You know, free open net, pushing it out the side.
Your hitting stats don't love that. That's an error to a kill very quickly. As Fraser Schofel back to serve. McGovern gets another ball, goes cross-court, picks out the middle. Whitaker wins the point. And if we are correct, first point in her Super League career for Lila Whitaker. And judging by the bench reaction, maybe it is. As Fraser Schofel sends that one halfway to town centre. As Malory going to make a change as well. Sophia Omashibi into the lineup wearing 15. As Allen pushes that long, giving Georgia McGovern a quick breather before set number 3. And this has got a little bit of shades of last February when the Malory Eagles came in and blew the Rebels off the floor. That was a tight first set, 23-25, but Malory won the second 17 and the third to 14 as They've got a chance to close this out in 14 as another service error for the Rebels. And it'll be Malory trying to win it. Whitaker's plays it early in service receive, has to tip. Cruz is going to call for it. Kellum to Lazard. Recycle ball, Allen gets hand, Simmons and Priestley able to keep it alive, but Malory another chance, Allen's going to play it. Cross-court swing. Still no winner, Diaz-Infante wins it going down the line. As no Lib in the back row to help rescue.
Yeah, that was a good swing. Off the net, but still able to find the blocker's hands, just take it out the side of the court.
And it will be Leland Whitaker wearing 7 to try and just get a couple of points here in a row to get some momentum as Tolley one-handed stab. Diaz-Infante misses the antenna, and that is set number 2 to the Malory Eagles, 25-15. And they look like they're going to put pressure on team side out.
Yeah, I mean, 2 sets down now, the Rebels. That's a difficult position to be in. If you want to come back and win this game, you've got to make some changes, I think. You know, you really got to put more effort into this serve receive, trying to give Simmons a better look in the setting options. And then even for the setters, I think it's important for them to bring that set off a little bit from the net for the outside attackers. Try and get the middle involved a little bit more. And I think they'll be in a better position.
Indeed, and as we get a quick break, I said I'd do it, Ben.
Go on.
Dynamic Men's Super League today.
Okay.
London Giants 3, Durham Platinum 0, 17-23-18.
Okay. Okay.
Newcastle 3-0 against Notts, same as last week on Super League Live, 17-22-20.
Okay.
And then Stockport stay alive, 27-25. 21-19, 3-0 victory over the Essex Blaze.
Ooh, okay, that doesn't help their case, you know, trying to stay up, bottom of the league. That puts them in a difficult position. I was speaking to one of the Essex Blaze players the other day, and they said they only need, out of their 4 games left, I think they need 6 more points to stay up.
We have a Malory versus Essex race going on. This is Dylan Cohen, Hassan and Bryce Bowen. Bryce is in socks on a slippy floor. That's never a good idea. Hassan's running around like a lunatic. No idea what he's got to do. And this has turned into something as Stan knocks the ball away, a bit of hometown love. And Bryce has given up.
Oh, God.
As the Malory women look on in absolute... Because Dylan Cohen... There's no balls left and no one knows what's going on. That will not be making our highlight reel, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, dear.
And a surprise, Cohen and Bowen are allowed to do that with a double header.
Yeah.
So, reminder, Super League Live will be ending, but we'll be back. Do not worry, Final 4, a month away at the Crystal Palace National Sports Centre. Ben, I know you're going to be there.
Yeah.
And you can join us. 20% off tickets this weekend with the code SLL20. Head to Volleyball England website, SLL20. 20% off tickets. And Ben, we know the Final 4 is going to be dramatic.
It will be. I mean, I think on the men's side, you see today, top 2 teams, the second in the league defeating the first in the league. So anything can happen, you know. And you're seeing on the women's side here, you had some shocking results already today. I know you got 2 of the top 4 teams here battling it out. So, I mean, it doesn't really matter where you finish in those top 4 because anything can happen on the day and on the weekend.
As we're about ready, set number 3. Set a change for the Rebels. So Molly Lawrence back in. So Chelsea Simmons lying, half sitting, whatever we want to call it, on the bench.
Chilling.
Hopefully it is just chilling. Malory are making more changes yet again. So they are starting with Jaden Scott on serve. Lawrence, tip by Borovec. Cruz into the block. Batiste fresh into the game, recycled, and some sort of a free-ish ball for the Rebels as Diaz Infante finds the kill over Cruz.
It's a great swing. Again there, I do feel like I have a Rebels setter there. Had the option to go middle. Still choosing not to, choosing to go to the pins. But the pins, especially Borovec's, seeing a lot of double blocks here against her. So I think Malory are keyed in now to the setter's options and their favourite.
So Selena Batiste into opposite, but obviously Malory still going to run the two-setter system with McGovern and Batiste as Cruz is stopped. Essex Rebels momentum, and you can see the energy. Kat Tolley giving her middle a hug, and roommate.
There you go. I think that's a good block, you know. Taking up the position, getting in front of the attackers, hitting line, taking away that space.
So Malory with Lazard, Scott, Cruz, Allen, Sierra, Batiste and McGovern in set number 3 is Allen forcing Lawrence. So Tolley on setting duty, and Diaz Infante ruins the assist with a hitting error. And I know Kat wants some of those.
Yeah, she will do.
As lip change for the Eagles, Paddy Coe in to replace Sierra. We have seen them flip recently. As Diaz Infante kicks out Chloe Allen. Lazard rearranges Lawrence again, having to play defense out of system. Lip change for the Rebels as well. We'll get to that shortly as McGovern. Batiste into the block, another recycle. As another rally, Lawrence again. Diaz Infante can't find the kill. Tip, Lazard gets it back over. Cruz, no good. Borovec has to wait on it again. It's set too tight. McGovern to Lazard. Still no winner till Molly Lawrence set a dump for the win.
Yeah, I think that was the right decision there. Your pin attackers getting gassed, the amount of sets they're getting there, not really able to put the ball away because the rally's just so chaotic. They're not having enough time to pull off the net and create that space. So set a dump it is.
We saw Lawrence try out on the first point of the day. As Diaz Infante goes to Allen. Lazard on the middle. Freddie Schofield can't get there this time. As we said, the Rebels with a libero change. Veronica Rubinova back in. We talked about that in the pre-game. Her return. Got a little bit of court time at the end of the Leeds game last week. And she'll pull Lawrence just to the 3-metre line. Borovec off the hands. Much better by the Rebels. You can tell Borovec feels so much more comfortable when she's a metre and a half off the net.
And, you know, that's a better swing because you've got Lazard there taking up a lot of space in the middle, taking away your cross-court swing. So opting to go off the hands, trying to go high line maybe. That's the better option.
McGovern back to Allen. Another touch at the net by the Rebels. Malory pushed the ball up, but can't rescue it. Was Allen. And the Rebels bench and crowd just starting to creep into this one. And it will be Borovec on the service line. Another middle attack for Lazard, and Freddie Schofield can't quite line it up. But you can tell since she got introduced in set number 2, Grace Lazard, big part of the Malory offense. That's her 3rd kill in just 6 swings.
Yeah, I mean,
to go with 3 blocks as well, so quick 6 points.
Big force in the middle to be reckoned with.
As Lawrence goes early on 1. Probably not the best decision from the young setter, and Allen plays it off the hands. As Lazard again goes long on the serve. Second service error for Lazard. And 7th on the day for Malory.
Yeah, I mean, that's giving the Rebels some points to play with. But, you know, this set quite close. Still a 2-point deficit for Malory. We've seen them come back from worse.
As Batiste, and they're going to call a... No idea, can't see the referee.
I think a net touch of some sort from someone. I think when it gets to points like this, Malory coaching staff have to make a decision. Do we carry on letting bench players play, or do we maybe just get the job done?
As Freya Schofel made a terrific pancake block and her teammates stood and watched. That isn't one when you want to see in the film, and when your middle made a second pancake save of the day and no one's expecting her to do it.
Yeah.
As Borovec gets aced by Batiste. Ninth ace on the season for Selena. Nearly gets 10 as Borovec scrambling. Malory have a chance to tie it up at 7 apiece. Scott on the slide finds the tight angle to try and avoid the block that Tolly had set up.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good shot. Recognising that your cross is taken away from the middle, so you've got to go even steeper cross. And just with that cut shot down.
As Borovec aced again. Backpedaling, that probably going long, but really tough. They're so awkward for the outsides when you're backpedaling. You're just not quite sure. You don't get a call. You kind of feel like you have to play them.
Yeah, and it's difficult. I mean, you see Borovec's taken that on the side of her body there, and just letting the ball beat her, not staying behind it, makes it difficult to play.
Shambling into the block. No lift called on the Rebels, keeping it alive. McGovern's going to get there to set. Borovec on the dig. Tolly finds Cruz, going to get a second stab at it, and finds the floor.
There you go, great swing. And then just staying alert at the net, not switching off. Be ready for that block.
That'll definitely keep the parents happy in the chat. I don't know, got to catch up with Catherine before the game. Delighted to make this Super League live. Last one was obviously at a wedding, and she said she the timing of the, I think it was the second set was ending as the wedding was starting, and she nearly let out a scream of frustration as the bride was just about to walk down the aisle as the Rebels dropped set number 2. So well held in, I think, on that one.
Yeah.
Hope I'm not getting into trouble for saying that with parents watching. As Rebels back into the lead, and Molly Lawrence, who's done a good job in this set on setting duty. As McGovern pushes it out to Allen, and she beats the block of Tolly. Sixth kill of the game for Chloe Allen on 24 swings. Not being her best hitting performance, 6 kills, 5 errors. As Lawrence spreads it out to the far side, but only into the block of McGovern and Scott. And the Malory block has been a big differentiator in this game. 10th block kill for the Eagles.
Yeah, and like I say, you know, they're able to recognise when the pass isn't in system and there's only one option, like that.
Diaz and Fonte off the hands, Allen able to get that. Jefferson Williams spreads his arms, don't know what he saw, but side have got to be on the defensive end again as Diaz and Fonte lets out a roar. Now she plays it off the hands, and we're tied at 10. Diaz and Fonte, the only one really going for the Rebels. No one else on more than 4 kills today. As Sierra, another picture-perfect pass. Scott was going to run the slide, has to wait for it. But again, Malory have done a good job attacking Molly Lawrence as Borovec gets the kill out of system for her 5th kill. Taya Shambling down the line. Cruz able to get to it. McGovern's going to set Cruz. She'll go kind of soft swing. Borovec goes big into Sierra. Another dig. As Rubenova, perfect position. Shambling has to wait behind the 3 metre line, and Malory can't keep it alive.
Yeah, that's a good spot. Just putting it deep corner, catching the defence out. And they have to play ping pong with the amount of touches they had.
As Jefferson Williams going to call a timeout. As Malory training 12-10, and you did bring it up, Ben. It's always a difficult balance. Alex Porter, your head coach, really good at it, trying to work out when's the right time to sub. Obviously, the Bucks quarter-final, the subs didn't quite work, lost some momentum, but able to get the break in for the starters as well. So
yeah, that happens, doesn't it? And it's a bit like you see with Malory here. You know, 2 points down, so not an awful deficit to be in, but it's still, you know, whether you decide to keep those bench players out or you think, okay, you know, we've had enough, we just want to get the game over with. And you see, like you say, our games, when that happens, sometimes the subs don't come in and make the impact that you would expect or you hope for. You lose the set because of it.
And obviously, Malory, a deep roster, all these players in the rotation anyway, so Jefferson Williams also has headaches to do. Not quite the deepest team, we'll give that to side out. Sierra with a misplayed serve receive, but again, Essex scrambling into the block. Rubinova's going to call for it. As Batiste makes the dig. Another longer rally. Allen from the pipe. Great attempt by Lawrence, and Diaz and Fonte can't quite keep it up. But you can really feel like Malory trying to target Molly Lawrence's defence, but she's done a good job holding up, but it's forcing the Rebels out of system.
Yeah, and I think Malory are really running that pipe ball well, especially with who's that back row now, the outside?
For Eagles,
yeah,
it's Cruz and Allen.
Allen. I think Allen's running the pipe ball quite well now, able to spot when the middle's jumping and when they've got those deep corner balls to go for.
But despite all of that, Rebels still 2-point lead mid set number 3. Can they pull off a reverse sweep? We will wait and see. As Tolly, Lazard on the slide. You cannot run it much better than that, Ben.
Great swing. I mean, yeah, all your momentum going that way, following through just to hit that nice deep corner cross.
McGovern, slight touch off the net tape, but not effective a lot, and Diaz and Fonte squeezes it through the block of Cruz.
Yeah, Malory can't seem to shake this 2-point deficit they find themselves in at the moment.
Well, they were the queens of comebacks last week. I think at one point they were trailing 21-15 and won it to 22, or
Really?
something crazy like that.
Oh, wow.
As McGovern back set to Cruz, and she pipes the back line. Big swing by JoJo Cruz.
Yeah, and those balls are so hard to defend, you know, the ones that are just dropping in on baseline. Everyone's going to think, yeah, that's going out, and then, you know, luck's not in your favour, and then it lands.
As Cruz sent shambling off to her left, and Diaz Fonte, one of those half swings. Allen down the line.
Yeah, that was a nice shot. You know, you saw Allen jumping into the ball there, turning her body last second, accessing that line shot.
Just a 6 kill for Chloe Allen. As Cruz again back to serve. She's going to push, shambling deep. Lawrence does well to get it. 3 ball again for the Eagles. Chance to take the lead as Allen, big defensive dig by Shambling. Overpass by Lawrence, sends Borek into the net post. The ball into the antenna. That won't work.
No, that will result in an error for there.
back set. Freda Schofield wanted it on a slide, but had to wait on it. Lazard with the fake. And Batiste goes cross court. And Malory just started to pull away.
Just like that, you know, you see that 2-point lead that Rebels been holding on to so dearly all set long. Now flipped over to the Malory Eagles.
Lawrence again to the outside. Borovic, more position. Coe able to get there, a little bit into the net, and Malory couldn't quite scramble. And a big point for the Rebels to stop the service run. And Leia Borovic to serve. Borovic came in leading the Rebels in aces, yet to get one today. As McGovern, big set for Batiste. Borovic on the dig attempt, but can't control it. Grace Lazard, who's had some serving woes today by her high standards. 2 errors on the 4 attempts. Diaz-Infante. Cruz able to get to it. Allen again into the block of Freda Schofield. That's her second block kill of the game. And the Rebels trying to stay alive. As Allen, ball tipped over. Tolika did a good job making it difficult. Diaz-Infante roll shot beats Jojo Cruz, and the Rebels are tied at 17.
Yeah, that's a good decision. Just changing that pace, changing the speed of the game, catching the defense of Malory heavy-footed, unable to make that dig. Oh, something's happened. Point given to Malory. Over.
Over, maybe. No one knows. Ruben Over had gone off. Malory had got a sub ready. Looks like Steph Boyce has replaced Jaden Scott in the middle for the Eagles as the Malory rotation continues. Good luck picking player of the game, me and you, Ben.
Yeah.
Allen, huge swing, Borovic. That's going to go over and out. Well left by Batiste. As Malory pull away by 3. 19-16. Can the Rebels do anything? As the serve goes along.
Yeah, I mean, it's getting later and later in this set now. If Malory can keep this lead, then I think they've got this game in the bag. But if the Rebels can somehow change it, turn it around, maybe get a lead of their own, we might see a 4th set.
As McGovern tries to kill Lawrence, nearly got it, but Rubenova couldn't quite respond in time. As Diaz-Infante beats Allen. Alexis Diaz-Infante having a big day. Kill leader in the game. 12 kills now for the Rebels opposite as Shambling goes over the serve line. Rare error by the Rebels, just error number 6 on the serve today. But at the wrong time.
Yeah, I mean, again, this late down in the set, service errors just are a big no. They're just going to kill you.
Steph Boyce goes long. And will be Kat Tolley again, trusted to serve nose, serving sub. Finds Cruz, perfect pass, McGovern gets cheeky, great rescue by Kat Tolley, that's making a highlight reel. And the Rebels win the point, Lazard is blocked.
Yeah, I mean, great reading there. Yeah, it's rare that you see a middle maker pick up like that.
It's Borovec getting there, finding the line, and maybe, just maybe, that's a momentum shift for the Rebels that they need. It's got to be now if they want to try and rescue anything out of this game. Borovec, sorry, Tolley clips the net cord. Lazard into the block again. Borovec and Freda Schofel combining for the second time in a row.
Makes things interesting now, level playing field.
Timeout Jefferson Williams, 21 apiece. As the Rebels crowd asks to engage in a sound game. Lord knows what sound they're going to try and make them say. Last time it was a horse noise. Good luck replicating that. Yeehaw. We can all do that, to be fair. Good job, gentlemen in the crowd. Another sound needed. A Halloween sound, and that's a hard no.
Yeah, I think that was a decline there.
As serving change now for the Rebels. Kat Tolley, 2 serves in, 2 points. Come sit on the bench. Don't trust you out of a timeout.
Yeah.
We know to set us curse Emily Priestley into the game. Obviously, Molly Lawrence, sometimes a serving sub, or Zaire Garrett, neither of which available, with Lawrence on court and Garrett not here, as Cruz picks out Priestley. More defense as well without Tolley on the court. Allen from the pipe.
Oh,
no net touch, the ball, I think, off the net. Borovec finds Sierra. Perfect dig. Cruz goes long. And Malory not happy. Sierra clapping. I think Malory wanted a touch.
Either a touch or in.
It was definitely long.
That's great. That's a great play from Priestley there, coming in, delivering 2 defense plays as well, keeping the ball up. That's what you like to see out of a serving sub as well. Not only the serving, but the defense play as well.
Cruz, another perfect pass. Lazard beats Freda Schofel this time.
I think in-system perfect ball. Point down for Malory, you've got to go down to
interesting
middle
that
left.
Malory still making the defensive libero change as well. We saw Sierra effective in set 1. As McGovern picks out Borovec. Diaz Infante, the set was low, but she mistimed it as well and into the net.
Points like that again, just so late in the set, you can't make errors like that. You've got to really use those balls instead.
Lawrence tries the quick one, but can't success. Allen has to run into it. Malory 2 points away from the match. Diaz Infante gets the deflection. Allen can't pick it up. And we are 23 points apiece. And it'll be Alexis Diaz Infante back on the service line. .86.5% success rate coming in through the game. Allen, not a good pass, so Batiste has to kind of wait on it and pushes it just long. Set point, Rebels.
There you go. Can they keep it up from the service line? Can they keep that defense hustle going? A lot of pressure down on Malory now.
Jumper is off on Claire Kellum. Batiste does well to avoid the net touch. Diaz Infante with the dig. Borvik's going to get the swing. Diving play by McGovern, can't get there, and Essex Rebels take it 23-25.
As close as you like. And we said we need to see that change late on there. I think it was when it got to about 21 all. They made that change.
So we're just going to keep an eye on Chelsea Simmons as well here. She has the shoe off, and I think we can only describe that as a heavy limp.
Yeah, I don't think she'll be checking back into the game, to be honest. And it's probably the best thing to do. You know, like you say, semi-final for Bucks on Wednesday. You want to keep your setters healthy for that.
100%. As the Rebels women back in action next Saturday, International Women's Day special here at the Essex Sport Arena. The Rebels women getting the prime time slot for the day as they take on the league leaders team, side out. Most definitely well rested. I haven't played in 2 weekends, so 21 days between games for Mark Kontopoulos and his troops. As be interested to see what changes might come on either side. Obviously, Malory, a lot of rotation in set number 3, maybe a little bit too much.
Well, it's like we said, isn't it? You know, you either let your bench squad play and then you've got to trust in them. And I think with a team like Malory, where you've got such good depth in your team, you're able to do that. And I mean, that was a close game, so you can't really blame that on anyone there or any of the subs. So it'll be interesting to see what the Malory coach staff go with, whether it's the starting team from the first set or the successful squad from the second set, or maybe a mixture of both.
Rebels, no need to change it up, right?
Yeah, I think, you know, coming out of that set, winning first set, the only set you've won so far, you've got to keep going with that same squad.
See, as the Rebels indeed coming out with that 7, and Rubenova as the libero. As Alex Chinnery having a discussion with Madoka Weldon on the bench. And a long discussion between Carol Gordon, Ian Legrand and Jefferson Williams. That lineup card only just going to the table now.
There you go. I think that maybe shows you that they wanted to get this game over and done with, get home.
And now the explanation of who's in is coming. Rebels are ready to go. Referee trying to get Malory onto court, but hard to get people onto court if you don't know who's on court and in what position.
That does make it difficult.
And Malory going with Pelham, McGovern, Lazard, Chico, Boyce, and Allen. So Pelham back into the game. Chico back into the game as well. And set 4 underway. Can we go 5 for the second time today? McGovern gets the tip to start it off.
Yeah, lucky with the touch off the libero there.
Essex in that set number 3. 13 kills, 3 errors on 41 swings. As for Malory, it was 14 kills, 7 errors for the Eagles. So those hitting errors just starting to creep in, and obviously credit the block as well. As Diaz Infante gets the block touch to go out of bounds, and really thrown a chauffeur, and Tolly stepped up on the defensive end with a couple of blocks that swung some momentum, and that'll be important now because Malory dominated the blocking in set 1 and set 2.
Yeah, well, that's right. And it's not just like the kill blocks, like you say, but also those block touches, slowing down the ball, giving your team the opportunity to set up an attack again.
As Tolly misses the baseline. 7th service error of the day for the Rebels. First for Tolly. Well above her season success rate of 79% as Borek gets it back off the perfect pass and runs it into Lazard and Kellum. And it'll be Diaz Infante who's been excellent for the Rebels. 15 points, twice as many as anyone else on her side this afternoon. Allen, head of steam. Ruben over high in the court. Ball goes deep.
Yeah, maybe questionable positioning there from the libero for the Rebels, pushing or opting to push quite high up. Maybe she thought she saw a tip coming. Who knows?
As Lazard, a little bit off it. Freya Schofel on the slide, rejected, but Malory get it back. She'll have to go over. Boyce with the tip into the middle of the court.
Yeah, and that's been their superpower all game long, really, Malory, just using that middle channel even when the set's dragged off the net. And Rebels still 4 sets down, and they aren't picking up on that.
Borovic into the block. Kellum's going to come get it as McGovern was playing defense, so Lawrence again trying to be aggressive. Lazard, middle cover play. Shamblin from the pipe finds McGovern. Kellum's going to get there. Allen high off the hands.
That's a smart swing. I mean, didn't really have time to take her approach fully up to the ball, just opting for a little step back into the ball. Recognising you're underneath it and the block's above you, just going high off the hands is the only option you really have there.
As Freddie Schofel into the block, Diaz-Infante keeps it joust at the net. That was turned back by Boyce, and it'll be free ball for Malory's. Kellum into the solo of Leah Borovic. Huge stuff. That's 13th kill of the season for Leah. And she'll go back to the service line. It's always one of the best feelings, right?
That's a great feeling. Solo block.
To servers. Looks like Alex Chinnery looking at Leela Whittaker, maybe. For Shamblin? We'll see. It is indeed Taya Shamblin.
Maybe made such an impression early on in the second set that Chinnery holding faith in her here. Yeah, it's quite early on in the set still.
As the mistimed middle ball put over the baseline by Boyce. Yeah, Shamblin. Three kills, 2 errors, but also been blocked 4 times. So not her best offensive outing, but Rebels do lose defense with her off the court, but won't need it here as they get the free ball. Whittaker, big dig. Shishko able to keep it alive temporarily, but Allen can't quite get there. And a huge swing for the young outside.
That's great swing. I mean, having the confidence to come in. Again, 4th set, you're already 2 sets down to these teams. Able to come in and produce a swing like that, that's fantastic.
As the back line found once again by Malory. And we are tied 6 points apiece. Set number 4 here at the Essex Sport Arena. It's been a big battle between the top 2 of the top 3 sides. As Lawrence Whittaker goes tip, Kellum keeps it alive, so does Boyce, but only as far as Carol Gordon, and she definitely can't get it over legally.
I'd like to see that still.
And Alexis Diaz-Infante, the vocal leader of this team, trying to fire up the crowd.
Yeah.
As we'll get to a piece of breaking news ever so shortly after this point, as Freddie Schofel finds Sierra. Boyce, again, Malory trying to go middle. Back set for Lawrence. Callum gets a hand to it. Allen's going to have to set for McGovern, and she makes another hitting error. And Rebels up by 2. As the Mari Women's Super League top 4 is set. London Lionhearts get the 3 points they need to advance to the Final Four. They beat University of Nottingham 25-11, 25-14, 25-10 as Boyce illegally finds the winner because Kellum got called for the lift.
Well, there you go. We know what 4 teams will be battling it out at Final Four now then.
So it'll be Lionhearts, Malory, Side Out and the Rebels. We still don't know the order as the serve goes along by Fredo Schofield. Current standings, if Malory were to win this now in 4, they'd be 2 points behind, and neither Rebels or Lionhearts could overtake them points. Essex could tie, but it would be Malory to drop points in all 3 games, 3-0. And then the calculator's out on set quality, so likely Malory Eagles to clinch a top 2 spot. But Leela Whitaker's trying to say Rebels are alive for a top 2 spot.
Yeah.
There's another kill.
That's fantastic. First year able to come in, produce 3 swings, 3 kills.
And timeout, Jefferson Williams to talk it over with his team.
Yeah, I mean, again, the confidence to come in, produce 3 swings, 3 kills. Not only is that going to do a lot for her as a player and herself, but that's going to do so much for the team as well to show, you know, we've got players like this that can come in and do a job. Come in, even if we're in the 4th set, to still keep this game alive. So 3-point advantage for the Rebels now. Maybe puts them in good stead to take this 4th set and to take us to a fifth set.
So it'll be at the timeout, Rebels leading 10-7. Shishko, who hasn't seen a lot of the ball this set, she'll get a first swing and puts it wide, and suddenly this momentum has flipped and Essex in control of set number 4.
Yeah, it looks it. I mean, they look definitely a lot more established, both defensively and offensively.
As the serve goes along, as Grace Lazar back into the front row. The other thing at play, Lionhearts move to tied with the Rebels at 32 apiece. Rebels will have a game in hand if they were to not pick up a point here. As Diaz Infante with the kill, beating Chloe Allen. So the race for 4th not over, and obviously 2 massive games next week as well. Here at the Essex Sport Arena, it's Essex Side Out. And at Ernest Bevan College, Malory will host Lionhearts, the top 4 going at it next week. And even possibly semi-final previews, you never quite know.
Could be.
As Whitaker finds Allen tight, Kellum keeps it alive. Rebels scrambling, Molly Lawrence again, keeping hand it. Diaz Infante goes off speed. Allen from the pipe. Molly Lawrence again with the defense. Lazard finds Rubenova, great piece of positioning by the lib as Whitaker finds the net cord. And it'll be Georgia McGovern going cross-court, going at Whitaker. Lawrence goes underhand and Diaz Infante finds the net. Back-to-back hitting errors by the Rebels.
Yeah, and it's these unforced errors that really don't help you to win a 4th set and take it to 5.
An interesting, as Tolly into the block.
And there you go. Like we said earlier, using the middle to quite good succession actually. But it's very, very few and far between for this Rebels team. Now unforced error again, this late on in the set. Just bringing up that 2-point difference again for Malory, and that's what they want. They want to close this gap now and try and create an advantage of their own.
Shishko picks out Ruben over, perfect pass. Diaz Infante into the block of Allen. And Allen will get a chance. And net touch going to be called on Freda Schofel.
There you go, just like that, 1-point difference between these Eagles and the Rebels here. Free ball has to be given, and it's given out.
That's the frustrating one.
That's crucifiable, actually. Something like that just cannot be stood. Again, when you're giving up a lead like this, and then you quite physically give up a point like that by digging out the side.
As tied up at 13 apiece. That timeout for Jefferson Williams worked to treat as Diaz Infante again seeing the ball. Batiste cross court. She'd replace Kellum in the timeout. She gets the kill.
Yeah, and like we were saying at the start of the game, talking about this 5-1 system, 4-2 system, you can see that Jefferson's now thought, okay, we need a bit more firepower front court now, and opted for the 5-1. And there you go, you see the fruits of that decision.
5-1, and Batiste can still set if needed as well.
Yeah.
Lovely luxury, and she'll get a second swing and beats Borovec, and Selena Batiste made a huge impact off the bench. That's kill number 4. And just like that, from 11-7 down, the Malory Eagles have a 2-point lead. Isaac Whitaker makes Freda Schofel set, and Borovec with a lovely angle.
Lovely little thumb down shot there. See, there's a space on the court. Scores the point.
So Diaz Infante, who has 2 aces on the day, can she get a third? Probably not at going at Sierra, and Lazard finds the line.
Yeah, and like you say, very hard to score an ace against Sierra. Giving a good pass in, gives you the option to run that middle. And when you got Lazard in the middle in system, it's going to be a point most 9 times out of 10.
So Boyce back into the front, Lazard at the back. And they're going to call Rebels out of rotation. Freda Schofel on the wrong side of the court. Easy one for the official,
yeah.
And a crucial time.
Exactly, I mean, again, giving up silly, unforced errors like that. This late in the set, on a 4th set, where you're trying to really bring it to 5 sets, that doesn't help.
What does that go down as in stats? A team error?
Yeah, I guess so.
It can't really be an ace, can it?
No.
Borovec, big moment for the Rebels. Can they claw anything out of this game? Diaz Infante going to be tight to the net. No one into the net. Don't ask me how. We're still going, and Boyce on the net tape. That was definitely legal.
Yeah, I don't know how there wasn't a net touch there from either side. There's a lot of scrambling in the net.
Chinnery wanted it, but from our angle, that looked pretty legal by Boyce. That ball not quite fully on the Rebel side, and she played it, but a great job by every person at the net not to touch it as Lazard goes long. Now maybe it's the sign Malory are going for it. Sierra back on for serve receive. We've seen her a couple of points ago, so Jefferson Williams maybe just going foot on the gas now and making sure no funny business happens in set 4.
And I don't blame him. You know, you lose the last set to quite a close scoreline. Probably just want to get the job done now.
Batiste has to hold a stride, overplay by Whitaker. Diaz Infante, big save. Boyce gonna set it, be patient. Set for Selena Batiste, and she beat Whitaker down the line. Selena Batiste again, huge impact off the bench. She's up to 7 points.
Pass in from Whittaker, goes back.
As Boys tries to get out of the way, but I think we've all been in that situation where the ball just goes in and you're trying to get out of the way and you're like, my body won't, the ball's going.
See a serving substitution here.
As Freddie Schofield takes a break for the Rebels.
That was a great touch.
That her first action of the game. Allen into a monster by Tolly. Diaz Infante nearly knocks us to the floor in celebration. Watch this, don't just watch the block, watch the celebration, buddy. Opposite, as we don't quite see it on the replay. Go back on YouTube, you scramble back 20 seconds and you'll see Diaz Infante nearly knocking her middle over. Great to have all of you with us on our final Super League Live of the season. As ace off the top of the net.
Don't think she could quite believe it, putting her hand over her mouth.
Jefferson's like, we're okay, he's stepping just a little bit. Obviously, 15 days left of the season. Minus one game that snuck into Cup semi-final weekend. That after today may have huge implications, as Dark Star Derbyshire will play Nottingham on the well, after the season, as Boyce misses the slide and we're tied at 19. I think Jefferson's thinking about it. Yes, he uses the timeout, 19 apiece. So yeah, Nottingham Dark Star, the weekend after the official season, but Ben, on both sides is going to be, it's got to be one of the most dramatic seasons. Obviously, the women's top four is done, but the relegation race is mad. On the men's side in your league, a scramble for the last spot may have been won by Newcastle today, but the relegation race, every team trying to add players and stay in the league.
Well, that's it, isn't it? And it's difficult because, especially for the Super League, everyone wants to stay up, and it going down to 8 teams next year. Those 3 teams that go down, they're all going to be gutted when they look back next year and think, oh, we could have been playing in the Super League still. Playing at events like this, playing at crowds, in front of crowds, playing at opportunities like opening weekend, Final Four. They're all things that all the players, and I know the coaching staff as well, look forward to. And it's the luxury of playing in the Super League. So,
of course, Malory Eagles will have semi-final action on that 22nd, 23rd weekend, presumably on the 23rd, since Dark Star play on the 22nd. And they will travel to Derby for a place in the final, as Chloe Allen had a timeout, who's been a little bit quiet. Monster cross court.
That's a big swing. Like you say, coming out the timeout there, putting that ball down with emphasis.
11th kill on 39 swings for Allen. As Borovec Polly, keeps it alive. See, Allen's going to get there, and 3 ball for the Rebels, trying to tie us up at 20 apiece. Whittaker into the block, finds the kill, and Leela Whittaker, what a statement to make for more court time, doing it on a big, big stage.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, not even coming in during the game when, Rebels are either up or down by a huge amount, but coming in when the game's quite close and still able to perform. That's a great asset you want in one of your young players for the future.
I believe that's 0.6 on the day for Leela Whittaker. As she's going into the block, Tolly's going to play it. Weldon back into the game. I missed that one. Diaz Infante with a huge swing, nearly rescued by Malory. I missed the libero change, but a monster swing. I think that says a lot about the Malory defense as well. It feels like second or third time, if not more, that they've got to the other side of the net and not quite kept the ball live, but the intention is there.
Yeah, it's the mindset, isn't it? It's the mindset of keeping that ball in play and not letting the team down.
Molly Lawrence. She goes cross court straight at Weldon, had to go tentative way off the line. Diaz Infantes at Sierra. Allen from the pipe did well to stay legal. Put on the line, not cross, and Whittaker. There's the young error. Unfortunately, she had such a good game, but that's one you've got to get ball in play.
That's a shame. That is a shame, that one again. like we saw earlier with Lawrence putting free ball out the side. Something you just cannot do this late in the set when you're trying to take it to 5.
Block touch, Allen in for the face of Steph Boyce. I think the Malory bench, I think Jojo Cruz said something and distracted her looking at the reaction. And Essex lead 22-21. We've seen reverse sweeps with these two teams.
Yeah, could it happen again?
Nearly 5, well, we are now 5 hours into coverage of what's been a huge day of volleyball as Whitaker. McGovern, not a good angle to set, goes cross. She's going into the block. McGovern's going to scramble, free ball. Sierra's going to get it in play. Back set, Diaz Infante finds the sideline. Big angle, and the Rebels are 2 points away.
Yeah, that's a big swing there. I think you could see some of the Malory players just looking, tracking that ball, hoping it would go out, but it just landed.
Never a doubt. Diaz Infante, 18 points on the day. Whitaker goes to Sierra. Lazard on the slide, straight into Borovec. As service sub, or defensive sub. Whitaker replaced by Shamblin. We know Shamblin's one of the best passers in the Malory Women's Super League. Second in serve receive rate going into today, trailing only Ari Sierra. And she'll get tested. Another perfect pass. Borovec off the antenna. And 23 apiece.
That's a tough swing. I mean, you can see what she was doing there. Trying to find that line option. Just over-rotated the body a little bit into the aerial.
Shamblin short for Lawrence. Borovec has to go tip. McGovern's going to get there. Sierra on the floor. Chico with the push. And they're going to call a double touch. And set point Rebels.
Wow.
And
I mean, you could see
double sub coming for the Rebels, maybe?
Shinnery remonstrating with the referee there. Finally giving up the double touch call.
Brunette out for Freda Schofel. And Alex Shinnery going to call timeout. Presumably he's going to be late on the sub, so he can use the timeout he's got in his back pocket, upset point to get the sub.
Yeah.
And it'll be Emily Priestley to serve for Kat Tolley. I think
that would make sense. That's what he did last set, so it would make sense to do that again this set. Maybe bringing serving sub earlier, Brunette off for Freitas to come back in as well.
So now we get the sub. Alex Chinnery's wanting the sub. I think he's being told he can't have it. So Kat Tolley's going to have to serve.
Oh.
Presumably because it's even the timeout doesn't cancel. If you're going to make a sub, it has to be a double sub rather than 2 singles, I'm assuming.
I mean, that would make sense. Pressure's on there
But
for Tolley.
Sierra. McGovern, Lazard into the block, 24. And that's the issue. Tolley's just ball in play at this point, don't make an error, and she picks out the best receiver in the league.
Yeah, there you
and
go.
Malory fully in system.
It goes back to their best attacker at the moment, Lazard in the middle.
Borovec, roll shot. McGovern picks it up. Sierra, Allen, roll shot, one-handed pancake by Borovec. Diaz Infante into the block, but Malory have the momentum. Lazard, Borovec a hand again. Lazard with the winner.
And that's a great play. Great play again. Just on the knife's edge this game, isn't it? You can go either way.
Shishko's match point, Malory. Borovec. Back row attack straight at Sierra. McGovern. Batiste for the game, picks out Lawrence. Out of system Rebels is going to be 3 ball. Batiste calls for it. Is it going Lazard? No. Batiste with the one-handed tip. Van Lazard is a fake. Borovec into the block of Lazard and Batiste. Match over. Malory win.
And that's a statement to make there with that block.
Get to see match point again. Rebels out of it for a long while, but Selena Batiste with the block to win it.
And that is a great game. I mean, a really, really tough loss for the Rebels there. Being that close in the sets, thinking they can bring it back, maybe bring it back to 5 sets, but that's a great effort from the Malory Eagles there, both defensively and offensively, able to shut that game down in 4.
Malory claw set 4 out, 26-24. So the final score 23-25, 15-25, 25-23, and then 24-26. And Malory take a big 3 points to put some pressure on side out heading into next week. But for Rebels, Ben, a lot of positives. You lose your setter in Chelsea Simmons, Julia Haney on the bench, and you push Malory all the way after a disappointing set number 2.
That's it. I mean, it just goes to show again, doesn't it, the depth that they have in their squad. And I think one of the big positives for today's game was actually Whitaker and having that outing and letting her just spread her wings. And only in her first year she's able to have 7 kills in her first outing in the Super League. So that really does show Kinnery the skill and what they can do in the years to come with Whitaker. So I think that's one of the big takeaways for me for the Rebels today as well.
Indeed, obviously a chance to rebound on Wednesday. Bucks semi-final at home against Newcastle, and then back here for a double-header next week. Team Side Out and Essex will make the trip across to Colchester. But for Malory, job by committee today. No one really stood out, but just shows the depth they have in this squad. Yeah,
that's it. Again, making those changes, and still, even with, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 changes in your lineup, you're still taking the Rebels down to 24-26, I think it was in the second set. So again, they've got such depth, such skill in their squad that they can go with any different lineup and still put out a good shift.
As Malory in a huddle, big week for the Eagles, obviously repeating the December results, the men winning in 5, the women in 4, but plenty of battles to go. And Ben, before I let you go, obviously a big week for you, Bucks semi-final in Nottingham Wednesday, but just talk about how much this end of run will mean and try and pick up some momentum through the end of the stretch season.
Yeah, I think obviously our goal as a team this year is to get 3 gold medals. So Wednesday, if we can secure our spot in the final and get a step closer to making that gold medal, then that's going to put us in a really good space. And then again, when it comes to the semi-final for the Cup, that's going to put us even better stead and better momentum just to get those late-on victories.
Well, I appreciate you joining me for the second time of the season.
Thank you very much.
I will see you in Crystal Palace for the Final 4.
I look forward to it.
We'll take a quick break here and rejoin you ever so shortly to get our thoughts of player of the game. Welcome back to the Essex Sport Arena. Malory Eagles finding a 3-1 victory over the Essex Rebels, 26-24 in the 4th. Joined by our player of the game, Selena.
Oh, thank you.
Impact on the bench. How important is the depth of this team?
I think it's the most important thing we have. It's our truest value. Just being able to play any lineup and have success and have a first squad with any lineup that we have out there really is, I think, our strongest value. It comes in practice and everything. So.
And talk about the mentality for you. Different role this year.
Yeah.
Obviously, you've been splitting setting time before, but now getting a chance at the opposite position. How much has that kind of freshened you up for this stretch run?
Oh, I love it. It's definitely like giving me a new boost halfway through the season, getting to just do something else and kind of keep it fresh, like you say, and switch it up. I've been enjoying it, definitely.
8 points off the bench, crucial, but What was the talk about set 3 and trying to park it to get momentum back in early in set 4?
Just kind of acknowledging our errors. I think during that set, we acknowledged that they picked it up a little bit, but we definitely made a lot more errors, and people coming in off the bench, kind of myself included, need to be a bit sharper. So just cluing in on that and picking up on what we needed to fix, really.
And obviously, big month ahead, trying to get momentum. You've got Cup semi-final to look forward to. You're trying to put pressure on side out next week. You've got a big one against Lionheart, who have clinched top 4 spot. So how much about this is rolling in momentum, because I know you want to make momentum last year at Final 4.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we just want to go into that playing our very best volleyball, so I think it's just about making sure that whoever's on the court, no matter what it is, that we're playing as a collective team and really just making sure that we're smashing whoever's in front of us.
I can see
building that confidence, really.
And some of the celebrations down there.
Yeah.
I'm sure
everybody's excited about that one.
I'm sure Jeff's got a headache again. More selection issues with the way everyone played.
Exactly. I know. That's tough on him this year. We give him an even harder job, but that's the whole point, right?
Yeah, indeed. And obviously, big game next week as well.
Yeah,
I know you're doing a showcase down at Cobham, so important to get everyone down for that one.
Yes, exactly. We should have a pretty good crowd. It will be good to just have everybody there and just really build some momentum going into everything.
Well, that will bring us coverage here. Finished at the University of Essex. Big week for Malory. 3-2 victory for the men, 3-1 for the women over Essex Rebels, and that will conclude our Super League live coverage for the season. We'll be back, Crystal Palace, April the 5th, April the 6th. Selena will be there. We will be there from the entire Volleyball England stream team. Thank you, and we'll see you at Final 4.